AYIBOBO is Papa Mystique. A very important role within the voodoo community. Many of you know about the Hungan, or the Mambo, which is essentially a priest or a priestess within Haitian voodoo. You have probably heard the term Hungan Asagwe or Mambo Asagwe associated with the word Hungan or Mambo. And Asagwe is a rite within Haitian voodoo. It's an esteemed title that many earn after going through a series of initiations, mainly the Kunzo initiation, to receive the Ason that will give them the honorable title of Hungan or Mambo Asagwe. But today I want to talk to you about the Hungan or Mambo Makut. Who are these people? And have you ever heard of them before? Well, the term Makut has been associated with some very negative connotations when it comes to Haiti. The Tonton Makut, when we were younger, we used to hear in Haitian folklore that the Tonton Makut would come and kidnap you if you weren't good. The Tonton Makut meaning a boogeyman that had a straw bag. And that's essentially what Makut means. It means a straw bag. There are also the Tonton Makut, which was associated with the Duvalier regime, which was the secret police. That there are many stories that they went around making life not so easy for a lot of people. And so when we're talking about the Hungan Makut or the Mambo Makut, outside of Haiti, they don't tend to get the recognition that a lot of other Hungans or Mambos get. And that's because culturally, people don't really understand their role. Unlike the United States, Haiti doesn't have urgent care on every corner. And so the Hungan Makut or the Mambo Makut, they play a very important role. They go around the community that they're from and they heal people. They walk around with a Makut, which is a straw bag, and inside of this bag they have all the things that they may need in order to treat someone. Whether it's leaves, some type of potion, tea, powders, they have it within the bag in order to treat ill or sick people. This is the traditional doctor in Haiti. In every community, you may have a Hungan Makut or Mambo Makut who this is their role. And in actuality, they wear many hats within the community. They don't just treat people, they play many different roles, important roles within the community. So Hungan Makut is an important person within the community. And their voodoo is more so of a familial voodoo. It's a voodoo that has been handed down from their family ancestors. And so a lot of their rituals and traditions are from their family lineage. And that may be their spiritual lineage as well. Many of these familial types of voodoo have specific laws that come with the land that they're serving on. That's why within voodoo, we do have certain laws that have a makut or jakut, such as cousin. So cousin is considered one of these laws that are rural or local. You always see images of him with a makut or a jakut, which is a straw bag. The Hungan Makut, Mambo Makut, they play a very important role in Haiti. In fact, most of Haiti knows the role that these people play. Even the late President Jovenel Moïse, he once spoke about Haiti's relationship with nature and how they use fae in order to treat people for sicknesses and disease. Check this clip out.
But Moïse says there is a relationship Haitians have with nature that protects them, and a plant that produces certain tea called asosimo that's made with ginger root. I'm telling you what I've witnessed, he says.
So with that being said, I hope everyone knows about the Hungan Makut or Mambo Makut, the important role that they play in voodoo Haitien, and show them honors, show them respect. AYIBOBO.
AYIBOBO, AYIBOBO, honor and respect, honor and respect, honor and respect. It is another edition of Revolutionary Hoodoo, New Orleans Voodoo Secrets and Recipes. Sponsored by, powered by, supported by NOIVD, New Orleans International Voodoo Day. We continue to invite you to join us and become a part of something extraordinary. New Orleans International Voodoo Day is not just an event, it is a movement that celebrates culture, fosters education, and connects people from around the globe. By supporting and sponsoring this event, you are supporting a tax deductible cause that preserves heritage, uplifts art and education, and fosters healing within the community and beyond. Your sponsorship of NOIVD goes beyond promoting your business. It demonstrates your commitment to cultural preservation and education while supporting a unique event that brings international recognition to New Orleans. Events like symposiums, art exhibitions, sacred processions, and global speakers offer unparalleled opportunities to honor history, and inspire a brighter future. Supporting an event like this means empowering a community, enriching cultural understanding, and making a meaningful impact on the world. It connects your brand to a celebration that values unity, diversity, and progress while helping preserve traditions for generations to come. So please join us in celebrating legacy, explore our sponsorship tiers, and help us make New Orleans International Voodoo Day an unforgettable, historic, legendary celebration. Together, we can uplift the community, inspire healing, and inspire the world. And we certainly are grateful for your continued support and participation in this live weeknight daily podcast at 9 p.m. U.S. Central Standard Time on a social media platform near you by way of my YouTube and my StreamYard links. I want to thank those in the live chat. Daniel Neal, a member of our community. Thank you so much for being active and present in these podcasts. Nina Lloyd, thank you so much for continuing to show up and support us. We certainly want to show honor and respect to our elder Reggie. Here we know as Green Soap, our co-host, and our beloved sister Toni Val Martinez, also for continuing to join us and support us here weeknights at 9 p.m. U.S. Central Standard Time. Listen, I had every intention on podcasting live on last night from our annual St. John's Eve celebration and commemoration on the Bayou St. John here in the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana. And let me tell you, we had a time before I realized it. I think 45 minutes had passed beyond the start of the show. And so we just neglected to bring you guys into the space. I will be posting as soon as video is made available from our Saturday night event at the International House Hotel, and then on Monday night at Bayou St. John, where we celebrated and showed honor and commemoration to the beloved Marie Laveau and her legacy for putting voodoo, Louisiana voodoo, indeed, on the map, and for the planting the seed that now feeds the continued growth and foundation for voodoo worldwide, but certainly hoodoo, conjure, obia, the makut, and the use of the makut, as our beloved so eloquently spoke at the beginning of our podcast tonight. And so I want to open up our mics and bring Elder Reggie in and our beloved sister Toni Val Martinez in. Perhaps share your experience with our annual St. Joe night or any other information you might want to bring in with us on tonight. So, Elder Reggie, greetings and salutations to you, beloved.
Thank you, Divine. Peace and blessings, Divine. Also, Sister Toni, but I like to share. I did come out at the International House, which would have been Saturday. I came out,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, beautiful event. But I had to drive home, come back Sunday to do the interview, and also at the temple that I have, I had to do service there. So I didn't come out last night, but I had the pleasure of seeing a video from last night, St. John's Eve. Oh my God, beautiful, divine, beautiful event from what I watched, the snippets I watched on video. I appreciate all you do in leading that ceremony somewhat with
Mommy
I'm
Mooney.
yeah, I'll just leave me like that. I'm gonna leave it like that. Sister Toni, you can add your 2 cents. Is Sister Toni here tonight?
She's here.
Oh, okay.
Greetings, Elder Reggie,
Yes.
Divine Prince, everyone in the listening area. I wasn't so lucky to attend the events from Saturday and last night. I'm patiently awaiting to see video. I rarely get out
Mm-hmm.
to the events that happen, but I be there in heart and spirit.
That's good.
Always there in
That's good.
heart and
Yes.
spirit, and ready to share the information on my Facebook pages. That's why I'm
Mm-hmm.
waiting for the events. When last we were on Friday, we were talking about what some people call superstitions, like splitting a pole and spilling salt and throwing it over your shoulder and not
Yeah.
being swept with a broom.
Right.
But
And you
what
also added about peanuts. That's very important too.
oh
Yep.
yes, I'm very aware of those peanuts. I don't let anybody come in my house and eat peanuts with a shell. If you want to start a fight, come in my house with a bag of peanuts that are in the shell.
Mm-hmm.
Peanut is a very powerful root. A lot of people do not know that peanut is a root, but it
Mm-hmm.
is. And the shell is very porous and can absorb a lot of potions
Mm-hmm.
and dried out that can be used when placed strategically where you want them to be. And for different things, spells are easily put on them. Also, a thing that was big in that area was your hair, especially in New
Mm-hmm.
Orleans. You don't let anybody get a hold of your hair. Now, when I questioned my mother, she said it's because birds could get your hair and build their nest with it and it'll drive you crazy. But I think that might have just been her trying to push me off because later I learned that the hair and any bodily fluid or whatever can be used against you in spell casting. So people who did hair, they burned their hair so that it would just be gone and no one could get a hold of it. And we also had the thing about 2 people combing your hair at the same time. Never let 2 people comb your hair at the same time. It was said that the youngest one would die first.
Oh
So
my, I didn't
we,
hear that one.
yes, that's what, never let 2
Mm.
people comb your hair. The youngest one would die first at the same time. Me, I never like anybody to touch my hair.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some people in the past have tried because I have rather straight long hair, and immediately I could tell when they hand by my head before they even touch it because my hair will stand on end. You know how you get that like your scalp is crawling?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it'll make me turn around before they even touch it. And I'll be like, don't touch my hair. Don't touch me. I can't go to a hairdresser. I can't do none of that. Because what a lot of people don't realize is that our hair is our antenna.
Mm-hmm.
Our hair is usually the first thing that alerts us that something spiritual is going on around us. And most of the time it's warning us about something bad. Your skin crawls, your scalp crawls. I know a lot of people that have dreads locks, and they'll have one lock that is never manageable. It always wants to stick up and go the way it wants to go. They don't realize that's their main antenna. So it's a lot of things around the hair that you just don't let happen. I had dreadlocks at one time. Oh Lord, I cut them out over 25 years ago, and I still have them with me today in a bag in my special drawer.
Yes, indeed.
I,
Yeah, I
I
still have my hair as well.
yes. Also a big thing, especially amongst men. Now, men, I've learned, are mostly the ones that say they don't believe in voodoo, hoodoo, and all of that, or they just don't believe in that stuff. But don't try to feed them anything with red gravy. In New Orleans, if you want to run a guy away on the first date, invite him over and cook some spaghetti and meatballs. You won't have to worry about him coming back no more. He gonna
Yes,
lose your
indeed.
number because he gonna swear to God that you was trying to hoodoo him.
Yes, indeed.
And that is really the biggest thing that I got from men about not eating everybody cooking and not eating anything with red gravy, tomato gravy. And with all the stuff that we have as so-called superstitions, you would think that we could not go through the day because we have so much stuff to look out for or to pay attention to. But we have been doing it so long, I know I have, that it's second nature to me. I do it and don't even have to think about it. And that's how a lot of the elders are, because we've been doing it for so long. And when you get to the point that you don't even have to think about what you're doing in regards to voodoo tradition, hoodoo tradition, when you get to that point, then you live in it. You're
Yes,
not
I like
just saying it, you live in it.
you live in it. You're right, Sister Toni. But I like to read an order to tie in with St. John's Eve, which was yesterday. And this kind of some of the sensationalism, why such a holiday or a powerful day like that became curiosity to the public in general. And this particular order is by Carol Merrill Long. She's used to be a professor at the University of New Orleans, and she wrote books, several books on Louisiana. But anyway, it reads: by the 1890s, with segregation firmly in place, the mainstream press delighted in mocking anything of African origin. One of the most egregious examples of this genre comes from the New Orleans Times Democrat of June 24, 1896, in which a St. John's Eve voodoo ceremony is described under the headline, Dance of the Voodoos, Outlandish Celebration of St. John's Eve. A living cat eaten by the Voodoo King, unparalleled scenes of savagery in the Pontchartrain swamps. After detailing preparation for the ceremony, including the boiling of a black cat, the reporter launched into a stereotypical description of the Voodoo's debauchery. The Voodoos had worked themselves to such a frenzy that they began tearing off their clothes until finally Nearly a half hundred impassionate black savages danced as naked as Hollanders to the beating of ox skull and tom-toms, the weird crooning of the hags, and the sharp ejaculation of bucks and wenches. At the height of the revel, the king kicked out the fire, and in the light of the embers, upset the cauldron on the ground, and grasping the cat in his finger, began thrusting the awful mess into his mouth. The others followed this example. The dance was now nothing but the lewdest and most outrageous orgy. The sensationalism these people took anything that was sacred and that was important, and they added titillating things to it, made it outlandish just to belittle what we was doing. And to see the ceremony still in existence today, none of that foolishness existed back then, just like it did not exist this weekend in New Orleans. And I just wanted to add that.
Yes, I have read that article before,
Mm-hmm.
and they really did try to defame anything that we did.
Yes.
At one time, they even outlawed the gathering of Black people, more than 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we come to have the celebration of St. John's Eve, because Marie Laveau tricked the leaders of New Orleans and made it into a religious holiday of St. John the Baptist that was open to all Catholics.
Mm-hmm.
That's how she sold it to them. So you can see by it being labeled a church holiday that all of that kind of stuff wasn't happening.
That's right. Right. And St. John in particular, because with the New Orleans being such a strong Catholic city, and by naming it St. John, you had St. Patrick Feast, St. Joe Night, and giving it St. John its particular day was a nice way to bring in that event. But the onlookers coming around and looking for the sensationalism didn't see it, but had to add to it just to belittle the people in the ceremonies that they was doing.
We
Yeah.
also know that this was rooted in the continued fear of uprising, revolution, and our ancestors seeking their own freedom. The bastardization and the storytelling as it relates to Maroon culture and Maroon practice, but particularly Maroon spirituality, which, before we started calling it Obia, calling it hoodoo and conjure and root work, it was indeed all magic and voodoo. It is well documented, particularly in Jamaica, magic and divination in Jamaica's freedom struggle between 1728 and 1824, and we'll cover that on our next podcast. I'm going to present a thesis presented regarding magic and divination and obia in its forms in Jamaican history, but the role that it continues to play in upsetting the status quo and the system and the fear that is attached to it around our practice, our spirituality, our hair, and many other aspects of our culture.
Well said. Yes. Yeah. And so as we continue to do what we do and let our institutions don't die and don't let them be ostracized out of our doing, because I believe some people fear and stay away because they don't want to be ostracized or they don't want to be stereotyped. But I think they have a keen interest in it because these energies and these spirits still comes up within their daily being, but they're scared to hold on to it. They're scared to really take ownership of it. And so we have to find a way to reintroduce our practices back to modern people today.
Yes, it's a big fear, like you said, of being ostracized, not just by the general public, but your family, especially. The
Mm-hmm.
family can be so harsh, and that leads to a lot of people going underground and keeping it in the closet, so to say, and they don't get the fullness of it because they don't get with like-minded individuals.
Right.
And you have to get with like-minded individuals in order to grow and learn.
Right. That's so important because as people in the greater chat room, whatever, as they chime in for the first time and they hear conversations that we're having, they may have a leaning toward this type of information. And I would like us to let them know that this is a safe place. They could become a part of what we're doing, even if they live in other states, other cities, by checking in each night, paying attention to what we're doing their own research, and then chiming in with some of the information they have learned. Because we will embrace them, we will give them a family or a tribe to be a part of.
Ashe.
Mm-hmm.
And also to try to answer any questions they may have
Mm-hmm.
that we could answer. A lot of people have questions that go unasked, and there's no such thing as a stupid question.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
So if you have questions or ideas, or just want to tell us about things that you're doing in your area, if you're not in New Orleans, we love to hear what other
Mm-hmm.
people are doing to celebrate, to commemorate, to be a part of, to learn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We
Yes.
really want to hear from you. It's
Yes. And
almost time.
also,
Go ahead, Elder
mm-hmm.
Reggie.
Yeah, but also I always say if they could get the chance to visit New Orleans, please, take the vacation, come on down, come meet us in person, come shake hands, come walk the tours, just come and see what New Orleans really about. We're gonna work through the riffraff and try to get you to some sound teaching, some sound learning about the city of New Orleans.
Yes, it's so much here. Oh my goodness, it's so much here. This city has so much to offer as far as the supernatural voodoo, hoodoo, and you need to get away from the tourist areas to really learn that. The tourist shops that sell the voodoo dolls and all that, you need to find where the authentic teachers are.
Yes, that becomes important. Because once again, you're not just coming for sensationalism. You want to learn. Because what is happening in people's dreams, ancestors are still visiting them, other spirits are visiting them that is familiar and favor for them. And people just not knowing what to do when these type apparitions come before them. And so I'm saying a platform as Divine have is a platform that can reintroduce them to their true self. And that becomes important for people to know that this is a safe space as they become reawakened to their true self.
Yes, yes.
No
Hmm.
shit.
Yes. And
This brother Joshua, I
oh, hey,
just got
brother.
in, and
Hey, brother.
I just wanted to say hello to you guys. And I was out doing some things, but I'm listening to the conversation you guys are having, and that is correct. This community is here to teach and to show and demonstrate the authentic practice that we're practicing and learning and growing in as a collective people. So
Hmm.
we definitely would love to hear from anybody from any parts of America, Central, South, North, wherever. that is actually doing the work and demonstrating in their local communities there.
Yes, and which is important. Over the weekend, New Orleans International Voodoo did some short vignettes of some of the members speaking on voodoo and their perspective of voodoo. And I'm sure once Divine get hold of that information, he'll be uploading it. And you in the collective audience can see it's not just the guys who and girls who come every night and speak, but there's other members in this community. They're gonna chime in with their imprint and their viewpoints on New Orleans voodoo, voodoo in Haiti, voodoo in Benin as a collective. So look out for that as we continue to grow as a community.
As our time is up for tonight, I would like Brother Reggie to close us out with information from the International Voodoo Day for 2026. And we'll see all of you here tomorrow night. Take it away, Elder Reggie.
Thank you, Sister Toni. Yeah. The New Orleans International Voodoo Day is coming up in 2026. The tentative dates hasn't been solidified yet, but once we get those dates, we will be putting them out there for you. So you can make arrangements, you can make plans to visit the city of New Orleans, visit the National Voodoo Day weekend with symposiums, tours, also the rituals that we will be doing that Sunday. So please mark your calendar, and we will continue teachings, continue service tomorrow night. Please continue to support us by any way you can. Ashe, ashe, asheo. Good night, everyone.
Ashe. Good night, everyone.
Ashe.